Hello and welcome to tonight's SBC News. The government has authorized a temporary stop to certain infrastructural work being done on Ile Soleil by the 2020 Development Company. This afternoon, President Wavel Ramkalawan, accompanied by a delegation which included Vice President Ahmed Afif, the Minister for Investment, Entrepreneurship and Industry, Devika Vidot, members of the new 2020 Development Board, representatives of the Planning Authority and that of Environment, visited the island to see firsthand what works have been undertaken up to now. The visit follows concerns brought to the attention of the President and the Cabinet regarding certain works that are not up to standard. The Ministry of Health has appealed to the public to adhere to the public health measures and not to behave as if the COVID pandemic no longer exists. The appeal comes after new statistics are showing an increase in the number of active COVID-19 cases from 222 to 320 over the last 7 days. It has also been reported that 3 deaths from COVID-19 related illness occurred in the last week of October and first week of November. The Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Jude Gédéon, has reiterated that it is in the best interest of everyone to take their own responsibility to stop the spread. The Chief Executive Officer of the Healthcare Agency, Dr. Danny Louange, has confirmed that COVID-19 testing stations are open during the weekend and people who have symptoms and those who have had contact with someone positive are being advised to go for testing. The Finance Minister has delivered his budget for next year, predicting the economy will grow by 7.2%, up more than 1% on this year. Nadir Hassan welcomed indicators of economic recovery following the COVID crisis, but he warned that higher transport costs are fueling inflation. He called on the National Assembly to agree to a total budget of 10.1 billion rupees.
Delivering his second budget to a hushed assembly, Minister Nadir Hassan had better news for the country. The worst was behind us, he said. Seychelles was once more making money. Next year, GDP growth is forecast at 7.2%, up from this year's 6.1% estimate, and considerably better than the almost 10% contraction in the pandemic year 2020. But the minister warned rising transport costs on imported goods were fueling inflation. Seychelles, he said, wasn't out of economic danger yet. So he announced a public sector pay freeze and the ending of the 13th month salary bonus in favour of an annual performance-related gratuity.
So the bottom line is the budget cannot afford a 13th month. And when we've looked at the projection, if it materializes for the 2020-2023 budget, then we will be able to afford that in the budget because then we'll be running a surplus budget.
He confirmed, too, the government's intention to raise the retirement age from 63 to 65.
The question we need to ask ourselves is, the majority of us in here and the majority of Seychellois will not get a pension if we stay as is. So, can we afford not to act?
The government's total budget, almost 10.1 billion rupees. Next year, there'll be nearly 580 million rupees spent on health and education, with cuts to business tax, down 10% on profits below 1 million rupees and 5% less for those above. In future, he said all shops will be required to use cash registers and accept payment by card to improve accountability and reduce tax evasion. And there'll be cash to move the Seychelles Revenue Commission out of its rented offices to a new purpose-built home. In addition, the National Library renovation will begin, plus the long-awaited rehabilitation of Port Victoria. The government's appropriation bill will now be dissected line by M&As before being voted on.
Natasha Brurian has been appointed as the new Master of the Supreme Court. She was sworn in this morning in a ceremony at State House, in the presence of President Ramkalawan, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Ronnie Govindan, members of the Constitutional Appointment Authority, her family members, amongst other invitees. Master Burian stated that her appointment is a result of her devotion towards her studies as well as in her career as a magistrate. Master Burian also added that she is ready to face any challenges along the way.
I'd like to say that I'm very honored to be given this opportunity. I'm very thankful to both the CAA and the President for putting their faith in me. I've worked extremely hard to get to where I am today, and I'm ready for the challenge that this promotion will bring. I plan to bring the same enthusiasm and discipline that I've brought as a magistrate to this new position. Prior to my appointment today as a Master of the Supreme Court, I also sat as the Chairperson of the Employment Tribunal, the Chairperson of the Rent Board, and the Mental Health Care Tribunal. In 2016, I also sat as the Vice Chairperson of the Family Tribunal. So I've had a lot of experience on various different tribunals before taking this position as a Master of the Supreme Court.
President Ramkalawan today also presented Mumtaz Hassan her official documents as the Commissioner for Information. The ceremony was done in the presence of Vice President Ahmed Afif, who also holds the portfolio of Information Communication Technology in the Ministry of Information. The Chairman of the Media Commission, Ibrahim Afif. Mrs. Hassan says that she will try her best to support the Media Commission and that she will meet with the Commission to familiarize herself with the work that is being done.
It's a privilege and an honor to be entrusted in this position. I look forward to supporting the mandate of the Information Commission and supporting our communities with accountability, transparency, and good governance of the organization and the community at large. At the moment, my plan is to meet with the new team, with the team at the Information Commission, find out what it is that they have been working on, what the priorities are, what the gaps are, and then we will sit and discuss and be able to forge ahead. I'm also currently working on some projects in climate change and conservation. I've worked in the civil sector for over 20 years in various capacities, from humanitarian natural disasters to food security projects, to projects on gender, to projects such as the Information Commission regarding non-state actors' access to information. And this is one of the ways that I hope to engage with the civil sector in Seychelles.